Shannon looks like many professional women her age, but her line of work isn't for everyone. A violent incident during a job landed her in jail. And now she's out. She wants to share her story.
27-year-old Shannon Haynes is bright. She has a loving family, went to a private school, grew up dancing and playing netball. Today, she's a sex worker.
I didn't realise how glamorous it kind of was. I had just enrolled in uni and thought it would be a great way for me to earn money.
What exactly was glamorous about it?
I guess when you're in your element and you look great, you feel great, you have these men that are lusting after you, it does fuel the ego.
Sex workers cross all demographics and all ages. Some do it as a full-time job and some do it as part-time work to get themselves through university or support the kids going to school.
Tonight, an insight into the sex industry and the young people who choose to do it.
We are seeing a real grassroots movement around Australia of sex workers campaigning for the right to feel safe at work.
Man armed with a butcher's knife, a woman dead, 2 others stabbed, and a city in lockdown.
It was the breaking news that horrified a nation.
24-year-old Michaela Dunn was allegedly murdered in a violent knife attack here in her Sydney apartment. Michaela was a sex worker. Australia was shocked by the crime, but perhaps even more so that a girl like Michaela was a working girl.
There are so many beautiful young girls that are going through uni and working in the industry, like your everyday girls that you would never suspect.
Shannon is one of those girls.
I had been working from home from the last couple of weeks. I'd had a few clients that night. A man had contacted me from seeking arrangement and wanted to see me, and I let him know I was working and there was a fee involved, and he agreed.
It was 5 a.m. when Shannon's client arrived at her home. According to Shannon, the two agreed on a fee of $1,000 for 3 hours. Court documents say the agreement was for $300. There are two sides to this story, Shannon's and the version she agreed to in court. Now, Shannon says her client became violent and threatened to take the $300 he'd paid her up front.
When I told him that I wanted a breaker, he wasn't happy about it. I was sitting there having a cigarette and he sort of insisted that I continued with him. He just got rougher with me, he wasn't happy about me having the break at all.
What did you do when you became scared of him?
I messaged a friend and said, he's trying to take the money off me that he's paid me, plus he owes me more. Can you help?
That friend came to Shannon's aid, but he didn't come alone. With him, another male, armed with a tomahawk.
Who is this? No.
I've gone to open the front door, he's walked straight in, and another man that I had never seen before walked in behind him.
The men demanded Shannon's client pay her $1,000. He refused and one of the men hit him in the head with the tomahawk. The injured man was able to flee the scene. He was hospitalised and required 15 stitches to his ear.
Did you set out to take advantage of that man that night?
Absolutely not. I had no reason to. I was earning plenty of money. I was getting plenty of clients. I had no reason to bring this trouble to my mum's house.
Shannon pleaded guilty to demanding property with intent to steal, a plea she says she agreed to in order to get a lighter sentence. She served 10 months behind bars and was released on August 12th this year.
It was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life.
Guilty or not, there's an inherent safety issue that needs addressing. Fiona Patton is a former sex worker. Now she's a Victorian MP.
The sad thing is that, we treated Michaela's death somehow differently to had she not been a sex worker. And I find that the most troubling.
Mickey was a wonderful person, yeah. But no, it wasn't the same sort of widespread outpouring of grief. But then again, sex workers, we work a little bit under the radar and there's a lot of prejudice and stigma against us, and people are wondering whether, we're the right sort of people, that we deserve that sort of thing, I think.
Cameron Cox is CEO of the Sex Workers Outreach Program.
You became close with Michaela's mum, Joanne. What was her reaction to the news that her daughter was working as a sex worker?
She basically said to me that she trusted her daughter and she trusted her daughter's choices, and if this was her daughter's choice, it must be a good job and a worthwhile job.
What sort of precautions would you ordinarily take to keep yourself safe?
My mum knew what I was doing. When I made the decision that that's what I was going to do, I told her. And I mean, I guess it's not something that every mother wants their daughter to do, but she was like, it's your life, if that's what you want to do. And I needed to let at least one person know what I was doing so that I would be safe, so someone knew where I was.
Is sex work safe work?
Look, I think the main barriers for sex workers to be able to say that they can feel safe at work are the legal frameworks that we're subject to. We've got a really confusing set of laws in relation to sex work.
The laws surrounding sex workers vary from state to state. Jules Kim is CEO of Scarlet Alliance, Australian Sex Workers Association. She says the industry needs decriminalisation to help keep sex workers safe.
Even when we do have positive movement towards law reform, sometimes we can get a bit of pushback from the community that have this misunderstanding of who sex workers are and what sex work is. Decriminalisation of sex work is not a moral stance and it's not endorsing sex work. It's just merely stating that this is the best regulatory framework, not just for sex workers, but also for the general community.
It's an okay thing to do as long as you're still feeling empowered by it. If it's something that's not making you feel great about yourself, you're not feeling good about yourself, then it's you don't have to do it. Don't do it.